Welcome to the Wellness Made Easy podcast. Hi, I'm Larry Logsdon, and today we're talking about diabetes again and how you can manage it without drugs. Yeah, can be done. Joining me today is Dr. Bob Martin. He's host of America's largest weekend syndicated health talk show, airing in over 500 radio stations nationwide. Today we're going to talk about natural remedies like Noni Juice to help reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes or improve type 1 diabetes. What are the steps you can take today to protect your health? Stay tuned and find out all about it.
Our special guest today believes that there are non-drug ways to help people reduce their risk of developing type 2 diabetes and reverse it. And if you already have it, and non-drug ways to improve type 1 diabetes. Plus, our special guest believes that the 98 million Americans who have this pre-diabetic condition should be informed about it, about how to stop it, the progression of it, and how to reverse it. My special guest joining us now is Larry Logsdon. Larry Logsdon is a functional food researcher specializing in the medicinal properties and the benefits of exotic fruits like Morinda citrifolia, also known as Noni. Larry founded Tahiti Trader Noni Company more than 25 years ago. And I want to welcome back to the program Larry Logsdon. Good day to you, Larry.
Good morning, Dr. Bob. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us today. And I'm going to jump right into this conversation. You heard my lead into it. These issues are real, and people are suffering from it. And a lot of them they're feeling disenfranchised because they don't think they can do anything about it, because they're just waiting for the next shoe to drop and what their doctor tells them to do, where in fact they have the ability and the power to gain information and knowledge, put it into action, and start reversing some of this stuff. Not necessarily type 1 diabetes, but certainly type 2, and certainly, almost assuredly, pre-diabetes. So, one, let's begin with the problem. Why is, Larry, in your opinion, why is diabetes so disabling as a disease itself?
Well, Dr. Bob, diabetes really gets you where it counts. I mean, what happens is because of today's diet and so many people not moving very much, I mean, they just don't exercise like they should. And so that combination really sets them up for a diabetes. Their blood sugar starts to crawl up. Next thing you know, they're feeling like a little neuropathy. Next thing you know, you start feeling like, gosh, my energy's been low for so long. I have this foggy brain. What's wrong with me? Oh, my eyesight isn't quite the same. Next thing you know, they have these urinary problems. It's an amazing problem, and it just gets worse. And this is people before you're starting to take any drugs.
So
climbing up.
So what you're saying then is that the symptom, we've got to take a break here, Larry. The symptom is the last thing to show up, and the blood sugar is already accumulating. The sugar is accumulating in the blood because the body cannot find a way to get it into the cell because the little receptor is desensitized or something's missing. And now all of a sudden that blood sugar starts to rise in the bloodstream. And the organs and the glands and the tissues and the cells that are seeing that and feeling that start to malfunction. Your eyes, your kidneys, your skin, your immune system. Folks, this is not good, what Larry is describing. When we come back from this break, we're going to get into more of this plus the solutions. Let's get back to the conversation now about diabetes, a rampant disease running through our society. And in this case, we're focusing on the most common of which is type 2 diabetes. Used to be called adult onset. Now we can't say that because children are getting it often. And type 1, which is less frequent, but we also have about a third of our society has pre-diabetes or right on the fringe of it. And we want you not on the fringe of it. We want you back in the optimal place. And our special guest with us right now, Larry Logsdon, he's a functional food researcher. He's here. He's invited onto the show to tell us how to do that in his opinion. All right, Larry, back to the conversation. I want to
Sure.
focus primarily, if we can, sir, on prediabetes and type 2 diabetes because they are believed to be more amenable to lifestyle changes and natural healing techniques. So, why is it, in your opinion and with your research, why is type 2 diabetes on the rise in America?
Well, the number one reason I would say is that so many Americans are hooked on carbonated drinks, energy drinks, soda pop, all kinds of sugary foods, baked goods that are made with white flour, ready-to-eat foods in a box. You just warm them up when you get home. Fried foods. All these foods are empty calories. The best foods in the whole wide world are the ones you fix yourself. Now, these foods, they start triggering a chronic inflammation, which is what gets this diabetic condition going. And most people have no clue until it's way too late.
Well, the question then begs to be answered, why aren't their doctors talking to them about this? Why does this disease continue to rise? I mean, isn't that what healthcare providers are about? They're supposed to be educators. When you're in their offices and they're seeing that their patients' bellies are starting to bulge out, they're starting to gain weight, their blood sugar's rising, maybe they've got already some glucose showing up in their urine. Why aren't they telling them, look, you're on the fringes of prediabetes. You need to get started at turning this around, or you're going to be in my office with type 2 diabetes, and I may have to prescribe a drug which you do not want to be on for the rest of your life?
Well, I don't have the easy answer, Dr. Bob, but I can tell you that most doctors are instructed to let the patient know when they're in knee deep. It's too late to stop. That's when they're instructed to tell them. Now, some doctors will actually give you a heads up when you're just starting to get your feet wet. But that's just how they operate. They wait until you're in and they can diagnose a disease. That's where they'll say, okay, now you're ready for this pill, and now you're ready for this pill, and now you're ready for that injection. Because that's how they are taught. They don't know anything else. That's how the business works.
So you're saying basically we don't have a preventive healthcare system. We just a sick care system predicated upon fixing stuff when it breaks. Is that what you're saying, Larry?
That's what it looks like to me, Dr. Bob. I mean, not like the old days when we were growing up. The doctors were looking after us, what to prevent these problems. But today's doctors aren't geared that way. They just want to see when it's time to diagnose this, you get this pill. When it's time to diagnose that, you get that pill, and that's how it is. And that's the real problem. And if you really want to be healthy, you have to take matters into your own hands and get a doctor like yourself who can help them.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you've been listening to this radio show, Larry, to me. All right. I digress. All right, folks. Thank you for the tune into the program, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Our toll-free number, should you ever want to ask a question about your health or make a health-related comment, maybe about the content you're hearing right now, is 800-606-8822. 800-606-8822. Our special guest, Larry Logsdon, we're here helping you to better figure out how to manage hopefully your blood sugar, since, geez, at least a third of the entire population, adults in the United States, have rising blood sugar, have pre-diabetes, which means you're a tick or two away from being diagnosed with diabetes. You don't want that. You don't need that. Larry believes he's got some answers to that. Now, Larry, in your opinion, as a researcher, how would you grade, and it sounds like I already kind of know this question based on your last answer, how would you grade conventional medicine's impact on preventing type 2 diabetes from even happening in the first place, with all of these people who are sitting on the fringe with their pre-diabetes waiting to slide on in?
Well, today's medicine doesn't have anything that can help you do that. They only have products they can give you once you're in knee deep. Then they start to help you, and they'll give you different kinds of drug products that are designed to modulate your blood sugar in different ways. But all of them have got these horrible side effects. Every darn one of them is BAD bad. You have to ask yourself, what do I want out of my life? Do I want to be on these pills forever? Well, okay, go do that if that's what you want. But there's probably not going to be a very high quality of life.
It's so true. Now, do you concede that there are many effective medical drugs that lower blood sugar. You've got to, I mean, there are people who are just going to say, look, I'm not a person to exercise. I love my big gulp and I love my sugar. I don't, whatever. I got my doctor there to take care of it when I break.
Well, if that's how you'd like to live your life, go for it. It should be just fine. It won't be a long life, and it won't be a very exciting life because you really can't do very much. You lose a lot of muscle strength. You certainly haven't got go power. You're always having to monitor this and that. It's just not very much fun. Imagine how many times you have to prick your finger to just check on your blood sugar. It's not good.
Well, I know a lot of people are already there. They have type 2 diabetes. And some people are on a fast track to get there, pre-diabetes. About 99 million Americans are sitting right there waiting to become diabetics because somebody's not telling them how not to become a type 2 diabetic. But so, okay, so what? They get the drug and they're good to go. What are some of the adverse side effects? We've got just a minute or so, Larry. I want you to contemplate this, so that when we come out of the next break, I want you to tell the audience, those people who say, well, I'm just going to I give that responsibility 100% to my doctor. I'm not taking any responsibility for my body breaking down whatsoever because I just don't want, I've got too many things to worry about. And the last thing I'm going to worry about is my health. Why should I worry about my health when I have a doctor that I've hired and I pay insurance for it on a monthly basis? When I break down, I'll just see my doctor. They'll tell me what to do. I trust them. I have faith in medical care. Well, Larry, when we come back from this break, I want you to describe the adverse side effects, if you would, that happen to people with type 2 diabetes when they take these drugs and what they should be concerned about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. Our special guest, Larry Logsdon, is with us. He's a functional food researcher. We're here talking about the dilemma and the rise of type 2 diabetes and the rise of pre-diabetic condition. We're talking about 1 out of every 3 people in the United States are headed for a big-time problem. Larry's trying to help us figure out how to avoid that. Now, before we took our break, Larry, we asked you to tell us when we come back, what are some of the adverse side effects that people can expect with type 2 diabetes? What do they need to be concerned about?
Well, type 2 diabetes has so many problems, Dr. Bob. You really get they go everywhere. The biggest issue really is you start feeling like you have no energy. You feel like, oh my gosh, am I having neuropathy in my feet? I don't know what that is. You find yourself with urinary tract infections more often, and the list goes on and on and on, all because of high blood sugar content. Now it's in the urine. Now, there are ways to solve that problem naturally, but you have to decide to make some changes. Number one is get onto a Mediterranean diet. This will help you big time. They found that 58% of people who did this saw a reduction in their blood sugar right away. Number two is exercise. This is a big deal. It'll help you maintain a low blood sugar number. You'll want that. Get busy. Get out there and move. And number three, use island-style Noni Juice. And this is like putting icing on the cake. This will help you keep your blood sugar under control all the time. It's an amazing thing.
All right, so your claim that the Morinda citrifolia, also known as Noni Juice, can help manage type 1 and type 2 and pre-diabetics. Do you have in a capsule here briefly, Larry, some scientific proof behind that? Because I know before the show, you provided us with a couple of audio clips, which I'm going to play here shortly, about some people who have had incredible results taking Tahiti Trader Noni Juice for both type 1 management of diabetes and for type 2. But what does the scientific proof say?
Well, the scientific proof says that if you're drinking Noni Juice and you're not doing anything with your diet, just drinking the island-style Noni Juice, just like we tell you to, your numbers will drop by 48%.
Wow. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to play now an audio clip of somebody that you sent to me that is doing just that. They're taking the Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, and this person has a type 1 diabetes, the worst of all, and is able to manage it better. Here he is. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Todd Warren. I want to share with you for a minute or two about Tahiti Trader's Noni Juice. It is one of the best products I have ever used in my life. I've been using it now for a number of years, and its benefits are absolutely amazing, almost miraculous, you could say. I use it when I'm having stomach problems. I use it for viruses like colds and flus. I also use it when I'm just feeling under the weather, and usually I'll take a little bit extra each day if I'm battling something like a virus or a bacteria. I also use it for stomach issues. It's helped me combat acid reflux. I've also used it as a product to help me deal with things like high blood pressure and, most importantly, juvenile diabetes. Yes, I've struggled with type 1 juvenile diabetes for most of my life, and Tahiti Trader's Noni Juice has helped me in regulating my blood sugar and combating some of the effects of type 1 juvenile diabetes. So if you take this product, you won't go wrong. Let me encourage you to contact Tahiti Trader and get a bottle today.
All right. I appreciate that. And if you're interested, ladies and gentlemen, beyond this conversation, you may do the very same thing. Tahiti Trader Noni Juice is available at GNC stores nationwide, Sprouts, farmers markets, Whole Foods, and other fine health food stores. You can also go to tahititrader.com, or for more information, you can call them at 800-842-5309. And I found it interesting how he points out that blood sugar problems generate other issues as well. And then there's one other audio clip that you sent. This is a shorter one. This is a type 2 diabetic who's getting better using Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. Go.
Hey, Elaine, how are you? I know you had some issues with your blood sugar. How is that these days?
It went up to 6 or so A1C, and then it's back down to 5. I take an ounce of this morning each morning. I really rely on it. You know, I'm 73, going to be 74 in September. I think I've a lot more energy than a lot of people.
Okay, so Larry, if somebody that has or knows that they have, or maybe they go out and get checked for it, how long does it take before the Noni Juice starts to kick in and helps them with their blood sugar issues?
Well, everybody's different, but I'll say if you'll follow our instructions, you'll see results within 30 days, maybe a little longer, depending on each person is different. But you'll notice a difference nearly right away. You'll start feeling a feeling of well-being, which is an amazing thing that Noni helps bring over on the body. So you'll know it's working, but just sometimes takes time because you have quite a bit of damage that needs to get repaired before you'll start really seeing the results.
All right, folks, you've heard it. So eat well. I love what Larry said, the Mediterranean diet. I'm on board with that. Exercise, key. And making sure you're getting all the nutrients. And you can get nutrients and supplements outside of just taking Tahiti Trader Noni Juice Island style, for which you can find it at GNC, Sprouts, Whole Foods, or tahititrader.com. Final comments when we come back right here on the Dr. Bob Martin Show. Our special guest this hour, Larry Logsdon, a researcher who's joined us today to talk about these conditions of high blood sugar, type 1, type 2 diabetes, and prediabetes, and how you can help to better the situation through exercise, through proper dieting, and through nutritional supplementation, including the science-based findings about Morinda citrifolia, also known as Noni Juice, helping to better manage type 1 diabetes and help people who have already been diagnosed with type 2 and pre-diabetics by taking small amounts of the island-style Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, available at GNC stores nationwide, Sprouts, Farmers Market, Whole Foods, and other fine health food stores, or tahititrader.com, or calling them at 800-842-5309 is their phone number. Larry, are there any adverse side effects of taking Noni Juice? We're about out of time.
No, there are no negative side effects, only positive ones, Dr. Bob.
And in a brief, what is the difference between the Tahiti Trader Noni Juice island style versus the fruit flavored one?
Well, the island style, folks, is the one you're going to want to help you with your diabetic condition. It is medicinal. It's powerful. It's filled with all kinds of goodies in there. You want that one. If you don't have a diabetic condition, you want to just feel better, the original formula blended with blueberry and raspberry is wonderful.
And what about the cost? What can people see when they see the cost of the Island Style Tahiti Trader Noni Juice? What are we talking about?
Well, it's about $35 for a bottle these days. Depending on where you go, so sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. GNC at $29, Vitamin Shops $36 or $7, whatever. So it's in that ballpark.
Wow. Excellent and very affordable, especially for counteracting or adding to the health with a disease that is as brutal as type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Larry, I want to thank you for joining us here this hour on the Dr. Bob Martin Show to talk about these issues related to blood sugar. You take good care.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Made Easy podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, hey, don't forget to follow us on social media or share it with your friends. For more information and resources, just visit TahitiTrader.com. Take care and have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.